first floor of the East Wing serves as a visitor center. This is where our visitor engagement specialist greets visitors and introduces and welcomes them to the museum. When docents are available, we provide the visitor with the option to have a guided tour of the museum.
Hi, I'm Sheridan Small, the Director of Education here at Dumbarton House. I run the school programs and help with public programs and all of the other educational initiatives here at the museum. Today, I'm going to take you on a brief tour of the highlights of the period rooms in the Dumbarton House. The lower passage was the first view that a visitor to Dumbarton House would see in the early 1800s. With its marbled floor cloth and coffered patterned wallpaper, it is an impressive sight. In Federal period architecture, you can see many Greek and Roman influences, such as in the columns and the arches. As early Americans defined their country and their values, they looked to classical Greece and Rome for inspiration. This wood block printed wallpaper was made using a historic pattern by Adelphi paper hangings. In houses of this time period, spaces were divided into public and private. Here we are on the public side of the house, with decorative wallpaper and lavish carpets. This is the parlor, where the nurse family would have entertained their guests. A good hostess would present her guests with tea and live music. It was common for girls to learn how to play a pianoforte like this one. This couch was owned by the nurse family. When acquired by Dumbarton House, it was upholstered in a red fabric, but research in 2006 revealed a fragment of original yellow wool inside. The couch was reupholstered in Ireland to restore it to its proper appearance. We're standing here in the dining room. While we're not sure who came here to dine at Dumbarton House, we do know that Joseph Nurse received dinner invitations from important individuals like the President of the United States. Joseph purchased this dining table in Philadelphia upon his marriage to Maria Bull. The couple lived in Philadelphia early in their marriage when the capital of the United States was located there. The Chinese export porcelain indicates the global nature of life in the Federal period. The Quaker farmer pattern design was highly popular during this time period, and Dumbarton House owns multiple variations of it. Now here we stand on the private side of the house. As you can see, this room is much simpler than the other side of the house. This is the breakfast room, where the nurse family would spend time together, including having informal meals. This is a portrait of Joseph's parents, James and Sarah. We believe it was brought over from England when the family emigrated to the U.S. on board the Liberty in 1769. Joseph may have worked at a Baltimore desk like this one. On the surface of the desk lies a copy of The American Gardener, the first book on gardening in American climates. Along with Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, Joseph was a subscriber who helped fund the publication of the book. This is the best chamber, where Joseph and Maria would have slept and where Maria would have managed the household from. Maria would have worked at a desk like this one located in the bedroom. This room is close to the kitchen, so Maria could supervise the enslaved and indentured servants working here. Here, we also see the artist Peter Waddell's recreation of what the view of the nurse farm might have looked like from this window. Maria may have sewn at a table like this one. The top drawer was a convenient place to keep needles and thread, and the pink silk basket would hold works in progress. There are small wheels on each leg to allow the user to easily move the table to find the best light.
Originally, this second floor would have contained bedrooms. These days, we use it for exhibitions and as a way to broaden our ability to tell engaging and wide-ranging stories. We have the ability to display up to 5 exhibitions at once on this floor. Here in the upper passage, you'll find Making DC. This exhibition gives us the opportunity to feature items from the collection that can speak to the earliest days of Washington, D.C. as it was becoming the capital city. This portrait, painted by Charles Willson Peale in 1789, shows 3 of Benjamin Stoddard's children, Elizabeth, Benjamin Forrest, and baby Harriet, at their home, Halcyon House. The bustling port of Georgetown is visible in the distance behind Elizabeth. And this creamware picture, created in Liverpool around 1800, portrays the plan of the city of Washington that was based on Pierre L'Enfant's 1791 design. The map is being held up by Britannia on the left and America on the right. Down a hallway, we find the Exchange Gallery. An exciting exhibition series, the Exchange is designed to present 2 items from history in a way that engages visitors and helps them reflect on issues over time. This space changes the most frequently, with exhibitions running from several weeks to a few months. Volunteers, docents, and staff from across departments at Dumbarton House have been guest curators in this space.
The galleries here on the west side of the house are usually home to 1 or 2 temporary exhibitions.
Pick Your Poison, at the front of the house, explores the history of drinking during the Federal period, with sections on wine, beer, cider, tea, chocolate, punch, and hard liquor. Visitors can learn about the full spectrum of drinks in the capital city 200 years ago. STEM in the historic house, which features loaned items from several NSCDA-affiliated museums, explores science, technology, engineering, and math through the lens of preservation and conservation. Through this exhibit, visitors can discover how STEM is involved in examining historic building plans, producing historic wallpaper, conducting microscopic paint analysis and painting restoration, aiding in frame construction, crate manufacturing, facilitating X-ray fluorescence, and developing 3D scanning, casting, and printing methods.
Our final stop on the second floor is the History's Keepers Gallery. This semi-permanent exhibition was mounted in 2016 in celebration of the NSCDA's 125th anniversary.
Over the last few years, it has remained popular with dames and visitors alike. In this space, we highlight the organizational milestones, projects, and accomplishments from the NSCDA's earliest days to the present. Of particular interest to visitors is a large touchscreen that features an interactive map of all the properties that are affiliated with dames. Curiosity turns to excitement when they find a site in their home state or even in their hometown. You may remember the Women of Vision on-site, traveling, and online exhibition from 2016. The online exhibition still exists on the NSCDA website, and while the physical Women of Vision exhibit came down a few years ago, the most enduring aspect of it can be found here in History's Keepers. This binder celebrates scores of outstanding women of the NSCDA. Their stories exemplify courage, compassion, and leadership. Some are imaginative and daring, others creative and artistic. But again and again, we find a concern to preserve the past, serve the present, and educate for the future. And of course, there's the timeline. There's no denying the long history and robust activity of this organization when you see this impactful display. Here, we highlight the President's terms, the beginning of important projects like the American Indian Nurse Scholarship, critical decisions like the purchase of a national headquarters, and much more. In this room, the legacy of the NSCDA shines bright.
Hello, I'm Sammy Hatton. I'm the collections manager here at Dumbarton House, and I will be giving you a short tour of our archives and collections. In here, you will find the institutional archives for the NSCDA. We hold tens of thousands of documents related to the history of the NSCDA. This includes biennial and national board meeting minutes, documents related to the purchase of Dumbarton House and its renovations over the years, committee projects and publications, photos and scrapbooks, past exhibits, and the Roll of Honor. This is a living collection that is constantly growing and being added to with information from our many wonderful meetings and conferences. And this is our collection storage space. When we did our renovation in 2017, we installed this space with the movable storage, which is actually really rare for a small historic site to have, so we're very lucky to have it. Our collection storage space holds all of our objects that are not on display in the museum. Some of these objects are too delicate to be on display. On this side, we have furniture. And this is an American sack-back Windsor chair dating to somewhere between 1775 and 1785. This chair was the model for all of the replica Windsor chairs that are placed throughout the museum for visitors to sit on. We got the bright green color from these small remnants of the original paint color that had been covered with black at a later date. On the underside of the seat, there are the inscribed letters JN, ascribed to Joseph Nurse, who reportedly purchased them and were found on an inventory dated 1784. And here we have textiles. We roll large textiles such as coverlets and blankets around protected poles and place them within these drawers. Once rolled, we wrap the textiles with muslin for extra protection. Rolling is a safer way to store textiles because folding fabrics for long periods of time can lead to damage and tearing when you open them back up. And over here we have smaller objects in boxes, ceramics and silver. We try to keep as many objects as possible within boxes to keep them safe. In this section, we have objects that need hung up for their safekeeping. You will find mirrors, paintings, samplers, and drawings. We store all of our paper collections related to Dumbarton House within this fire safe cabinet. In here you will find a large collection of letters and other documents that are related to the Nurse family. This also houses our rare book collection and various small drawings and paintings.
My name is Jerry Faust. I'm the Historic Site Director here at Dumbarton House. The house was built in 1799. It sat in the really in the middle of what is now Q Street, which is just on the other side of the building right now from where I am standing. And in 1915, when the Dumbarton Bridge was completed across Rock Creek and they wanted to continue Q Street into Georgetown, this house was standing right in the way. So in 1915, the house got moved about 100 feet to the north, and oddly enough, also 6 feet lower than it was originally. So it actually sits about 6 feet lower than originally built.
Here, as we look at the front of the house, we see some of the classical Federal style features, hyphens and wings on either side of the center block, a belt course of sandstone that separates the first and second floors. We're very indicative of that style as well. You can look at the portico here and notice the Quiet Creek sandstone elements throughout the house.